Hello, everyone. I am Tacit, and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 13. The game just crashed. Hey, what it does that sometimes. 1 second. Loading. But anyways, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 13, Week 2, Day 3. So today, I'm mostly going to be focusing on the World event. I haven't really touched it much this week. So definitely going to prioritize it a little bit. It follows that weird 15-15 format where, it's 15 for 2, another 15 for 4, and then after 31 battles, it does the same 6 over and over and over again until you just eventually have 5 rooms or 4 rooms that you just never do. And that's pretty much the entire format for this time around as well, where the main thing to do is don't take the Metzatil, and you should be good to go. Even Stormcrow, which is looks like a lower rarity, is actually worth more points than the other room. And we'll be going with, I don't know, which one should we go for? I kind of want some quick AoE initially. Which means I might actually want to use the low team. Sunbird it. Honestly, I almost want a Queen Zachi first slot. One funny thing I kind of want to do is like Zachi, Harpy. Let's see. Do we have any links? Only yellow? I want to go like Zachi... Yellow? I guess. What can Hero do that does a lot of mana? Because obviously we could just put a weapon there. I don't mean the weapon doing mana. I mean the hero itself doing mana though. Oh yeah, we could use any weapon too. Oh wait, it does open it a little bit. But I guess put an Abral Crystal there. That's not how you spell Abral Crystal. Actually, it should just be there. There it is. Abral. And then we just do that with a class that can actually give us mana. The only problem with this is, I guess that kind of has to be Brown Storm Titan, just to kind of get things going. And then we change the banner to like a brown, yellow, assuming one fits that coloration. Seeing purple, not ideal. Plus 2ing the other color, not ideal. Let's see. Can I get this in like +2 brown, +1 green? Doesn't exist. It's not currently. You can always just minus the Abral Crystal. It's not too big a deal. Because it's more important that we have that into purple. Here, just have an Essence of Evil. Just hold something. Actually, what's a, like, how about a blue-green explodey weapon? That exists, right? It should. Somewheres. Yeah, right there. Boom. Okay, let's go with that. Let's roll with that. Oh, that's not the team. Let me grab this. There we go. I want something super quick for the earlier range. And this will do just that. Mostly because most of our fights will be... Hey! It's the jiggle physics this week. Oh, we gotta click the jiggly one. Oh, that's not the team I want. No! Wait, both of those were incorrect. No, the team was wrong and the metal setup is wrong. Come back! Luckily, Sunbird still one-shots at this range, but still. Come back! It's still jiggling! Anyways. Shop we already did. Let me go fix this real quick. I gotta click, well, first things first. Click on that. Second, change out the team. Jiggle. Let's see. There we go. Anyways, hello everyone! Wait. The current team does not confirm. Oh, never mind. We do have to still use the weapon type. I was doing it in the other menu. I was wondering why it allowed me to use every weapon. I was like, wait, it shouldn't be allowing me to use every weapon. That's why. What was I gonna say? Because it should be restricting me to ones from Suncrest. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. Nimbus Bow. Actually, staff. No, Nimbus Bow. I just roll with that. Anyways, still same premise of team. Anyways, hello everyone. Hello. Hello, Roman. Hello, Bill. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Logic Slayer. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Have I looked at the NIC cards yet? Not yet. Hello, Emanator. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Demidora. Hello, Defiant. Hello, Dwight. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Lester. Hello, everyone else. Welcome. Alright, we'll take that one over for now. Get our explosion. Gosh, they're all in the same room. I'll take the lowest one, I guess. Don't really have much of a choice on what we want to take. They're just going to give us all the same. You got 2 hellos. Double a hello. Alright, I'll just clear it out with that. Oh yeah, I didn't claim the other medals yet. You are correct. I meant to do that. Or I got to go grab it in the menu. And it should give us 1 max metal. Do we have a spare? No, just 1 max. It's fine. That's all we need. Also, they did a patch a while back where they fixed jiggles. They did not actually fix it. The patch notes was a lie. That was a while back. It was pretty obvious that they never fixed it. But there was a patch notes a while back that had something like fixed the jiggling icons on like world event screens. It was never fixed for a day in this game. Oh, happy birthday, Genki! Wait, isn't your birthday in December? So where is Genki? I don't see her comment. Hey, finally stopped jiggling. Let's see. We'll take that one over. Grab our explosion. Feel better after you clip Tacit. Oh, what do we need here? We'll throw down that. You were late. All good. So hello, David, if I and say hi. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Also, once we finish out all of our sigils, we'll go handle the code. Oh, speaking of which, I finally got more codes from Kafka, so we can start handing out a little bit more codes. As we finally have gotten to stash. You're hoping to hear that sweet Tacit singing voice. We are horrible at singing. I would mana drain him, because why not? I'm not sure what the point of that move was, but it felt like it did something. Those mana drain gems actually are kind of good. Not that there was much doubt on that, but you know. Like, they're good in the sense that they don't feel too overpowered, but still feel strong. Got a nice middle for those power gems that I don't feel like most of them really got. Where, like, you can't just ignore them. But also, it's not like the end of the world if you get hit by one. And you can still counterplay it. Like, some of them just was, like, almost no counterplay. Like, Wish Gem. Wish Gem was just, you win or you lose. There's, like, no in between. Pretty much none. Because we have a lot of sigils, so that makes sense. I haven't actually used any yet. Because I didn't use any on Monday. Because I focused more on getting all the objective thingies done. I didn't do any last night because we're focusing on just everything else we were catching up on. And then, we're finally doing them all tonight. Which there are definitely a handful of them. So hello, Stacy. Welcome, welcome. You got Phoenicia? Nice. Huge congrats. Yeah, it's a great trip to have. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the campaign mythic works. It, in theory, has potential to be really good. Essentially, how the campaign mythic works is if you can full mana accumulate board clear every turn, you will 4 mana drain the entire enemy turn while mana accumulating your entire team. Meaning, in theory, unless the enemy team gets an extra turn, or, you know, like you leave the board in an extra turn state due to board clearing or something similar. Unless that happens, the enemy basically can't do anything. Because they're always going to be drained by 4 mana, and then immediately the following turn be drained by 4 mana. So unless they have immune to mana drain or something similar, and those can be worked around, You can have Curse to get rid of that. You can have single target to get rid of, like, the one threat that might end up having it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. As 4 mana drain per turn is definitely very, very strong. Obviously, it's not a free 4 mana drain per turn. It also can backfire if you don't have a board clear. Though it's very rare that you wouldn't have a board clear. Though if somehow the enemy team got ahead of you, your own effect would basically be going against you, which could be very problematic. But generally, it would be in your favor. The only way I could see it, like, not being in the person's favor is mostly if they get a bad turn 1 or 2. Like, if you don't have your team rolling by the first 2 turns, and the enemy does, you will end up losing if you have that thing on your team. Because then the enemy is basically getting the 4 mana drain on you per turn rather than the other way around, which would be very bad. Oh, what am I doing? That's the worst room. Yeah, scoring for faction of, not faction, world events is always kind of weird. Especially since sometimes it's not actually what it says on the website. Which makes it even more confusing. It's hard to tell that sometimes as well. At least initially. If it's working exactly as posted. Gosh, I'll do the jiggly one, fine. What's hello, Draco? Oh, welcome, welcome. What's hello, Jason? Welcome as well. Ooh, the mana drain. It doesn't give us any value, though. Like, anytime I see that, I feel so tempted. It's like, ooh, 4 mana drain. But, really, what's it doing for us? I guess the main thing it's doing is making sure he doesn't do it on us. More so than anything. It's a kind of weird circumstance. Where my main incentive to take the mana drain gem is so he doesn't take the mana drain gem. Not because I actually need to mana drain him. Yeah, it's nice that he has an explosion on himself, so he kind of has what he needs for his own synergy. Which is kind of convenient. Though his immune to mana drain does get countered by curse and stuff like that. Which of course could be a bit of an issue, because your whole team would get countered by it at that point. Unless you have that indestructible trait. So I'm not sure why, my nose has been like itchy all day. It's been very annoying. Let's see. I'll take that one down. Oh, throw down Nimbus Bow. Splody Splody. Which also gives us the Brown Storm we need, though I'm pretty sure we're going to win by then. Because we have the enchant, we do that. Boom, do it again, dead. I just realized I still have the orb counter up. Wow, what? Why is the scoring so weird? Because you were higher than the other thing, weren't you? They always make the scoring so weird. No, maybe not always, but I hate when they do. Just keep it simple. If you're gonna make it like slightly different, make it like rarity order with like one small variation. Not all the points going all over the place. The campaign mythic and the 6 times boost on the troop. Would that apply before the explosion? What do you mean by 6 times boost? Which one gets boosted by it? Or which one are you referring to? Because I forget the wording on this thing. Go check it in a second, though. I was like, guys, Reflect is so useless. I mentioned that earlier in the video. As well as the stream, as well as everything. But I don't quite understand what they were going for there. But as far as the campaign mythic, the 4 times boost ratio does... let's see... Explode all purple gems and spirit gems. Deal a bunch of damage to the last 2 enemies. It takes the spirit gems that are currently on the board, not after. So let's say there are currently 5 on the board and you cast this ability, and then there's 0 on the board. It counts it as 5, which is 30 damage. But it counts the gems based on the current state when you cast it, not based on the final state when it ends. So however many there are on the boost ratio when you cast it is the number that it actually does. Not the number that is on the board after the fact. Which would generally be lower, not higher. But that would mean it's going to do higher damage, not lower. Because of that. Why would I click in there? But yes, it would take whatever the current board state is when you cast it. For that ability. Which means on average he's always getting at minimum a 2 boost ratio for 12 additional damage. At least in theory. Obviously there are some situations where that isn't going to happen. But generally, given that he's converting 2 blues every single turn, he's going to be getting at least 12 additional damage to both enemies for 24 total. And that's assuming those are the only 2 spirit gems on the board. There of course could be more than that. It's not a huge amount of damage, but it adds up. Oh, also, Nintendo Direct was today, and a few interesting things. However, the most interesting thing is I believe we finally got a date for the Mega Man series, and it seems to be mid-April. I'm probably getting the Steam version because I believe it's coming out on Steam during that time too. I believe it's releasing on Steam, but on Switch as a console exclusive, if that makes any sense. It's weird when game companies do that, but basically it's exclusive on console on Nintendo Switch, but it's still available on PC, so I'm probably just getting the PC version. But, yeah, I always find that weird when games do that. Where it's like, it's exclusive only on this console, but we're also on PC, so it's not an exclusive at all. So hello, Supernova. Welcome, welcome. Gosh, that thing is so jiggly. It just will not stop moving. Yeah, are you guys ready for the Vault event weekend? I'm not sure what time I'm going to start the Friday grind, but we are going to grind. I want to start late enough that I'll feel awake enough to stream pretty much the entire day. So I'm probably just going to sleep in, relax a bit, grab lunch / dinner. And then by like that midday time, which might be closer to 2-ish p.m. though, no sure on the exact time, we just keep streaming until we get too tired to stream. It's pretty much the game plan. Because I want to make sure it goes to the standard 8 to 9 time slot. That'll still be one continuous stream. And we'll be doing that both Friday and Saturday. And how long is to be determined, but we'll do it for a decent amount of time. So I think we finally hit the 31 battle state. We could easily tell because it'll stop shuffling around, and I believe it has reached that point. That's not worth moving. That one is. Dreadstorm. How many points are you even worth? Why is the point system so weird? Like they have all these rarities and icons. I just know which one's the worst, so as long as I stay away from that one, I am fine with not knowing what the rest of them are. So was it correct that they flip-flopped? Wait, did they flip-flop? They never flip-flopped. Did they? It was always that we were going to get a Vault event. I don't think they ever changed their stance. I think some people in the community think they made they changed their stance. But basically their stance the entire time, pretty much since day one of them not doing it, was, in short summary, that they don't want to do, or they want to try to avoid doing a Vault event during a Kingdom Pass, because there was a lot of complaining in the past about it happening during Kingdom Passes. But of course now it happened inversely, where, you know, the fact that they didn't do it, that people are complaining about it. Which personally, I feel like, you know, they should have just done it during that time. But basically the whole reason why they didn't do it was because there was a Kingdom event. And they mentioned pretty early on that the first Friday after the Kingdom event, they would have a Vault event. Which would be either the compensation one, or, you know, like, there would be a Vault event regardless, if it was the compensation one or just one of those just normally happening. And then the compensation one would either happen later, or that would be it, or, you know, something along those lines. But basically, there was never a point where the Friday after the Kingdom Pass, it was always going to be a Vault event. The only thing that was weird is it didn't show up on Terrans World. But aside from that, as far as what they were posting on the forum, it was always mentioned that they were going to end up doing one. The other dates for them has not really been confirmed much, other than, like, we're probably getting 3 within the next 6 weeks. But aside from that, the one that's for this weekend was confirmed for almost a month and a half now. Like, it was like the late December, I think. They ended up mentioning something like that. It was around the time of the Ban Mist, Merry Ban Mist that ended up happening. But it was around that time they ended up mentioning all that. Which was, at this point, what, a month and a half from before now? Gosh, this jiggling is making it hard for me to actually click on them. Also, we'll hand out a code once we hit 0. Which should be soon. We might get a Valraven next fight, which would make it take slightly longer. And either or, we'll get the battles in. You need a lot of mana. And you did not get a lot of mana. You kinda missed. Gosh, I can't even see if this is a good one or not. It's moving too quick, and it actually is. So let me click on it. Yeah, we did get a Valraven. Actually, you know what's going to be even worse? I think we've locked ourselves down and having to constantly keep clicking the jiggly one now. Because we're past the 31 battle point, I'm pretty sure. So now I'm going to always have to click the super jiggly one. Meaning I'm never going to know before I click on it what the battle's going to be. Not like it matters too much. Because it's constantly in motion. Trying to avoid detection. I was going to keep doing that until it's the same as all the other ones, in which case I can start clicking on a different one that's not jiggling around. Like right now. Okay, let me stop clicking on this one. Because otherwise we're going to be locked into clicking the one that keeps moving every single time. I kind of want to click this one, but this one also keeps moving. So I'm just going to click the one, I guess, to the left. Just so we don't have to deal with the whole movement thing. Even though I generally like clicking the one that's furthest bottom. It's just slightly quicker, because it's right next to the button on the next screen. Oh, we ran out of sigils. Oh, there we go. And how we doing on the guild? We are pretty much dead center. We still need one person as well. Someone ended up leaving earlier. Hey, there we go. Let me go switch back to our medals. Let's go hand out a code and then go clear out everything else. Oh, that was pretty quick. Entirety of the world event took like 23 minutes. Obviously, we still have some more battles to do tomorrow and Friday, but still not too bad. Speaking of which, you know what's going to be annoying? Which is probably the weirdest thing about the delays with the faction event. So one of the things that's one of the reasons why the faction event was delayed, or sorry, not faction. Why do I keep saying faction? I mean, one of the reasons why the Vault event was delayed was because of, you know, having multiple events at once, taking up extra time, all that kind of stuff, and not wanting to do it during the Kingdom Pass because of that. But one really funny thing is the Bounty Hunter event that we have this weekend takes like, what, 1 to 2 hours roughly, give or take a little. And that is way longer than the entirety of time that a Kingdom Pass would have taken over the course of 3 days. Meaning the event that we have this weekend is more time consuming than if they would have just done it during a Kingdom Pass. But there you guys go. There's a redeem code. Use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found here for your settings menu. Whatever game says right over there is what you put in for your invite. Excuse me. For your invite code. And redeem code's right over there in chat. Copy paste random numbers and letters. Starting with UV. And it gives same load as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. And hey, we almost gained another level. Almost there. Anything good on the adventure board today? Yes, there is. 10 gems and some deeds. It's currently set to our Wayne team. I'll switch. What was I using our Wayne team for earlier? I don't remember. Was I doing tasks with them? I don't know. It couldn't have been because it was the other day. Anyways, hello, Magnesia. I was testing something with it? I don't think so, though, because it's pretty standard Rowain build. What was I using that for? Apparently something. Because despite it being a really good team, I personally don't use it for too many things these days. Other than for clearing out tasks at the beginning of a week. Have I been eating Pokemon? No. Actually, I haven't even played Pokemon since the last time we did that one stream. Not counting Pokemon Unite, which I do the daily system for every single day just because it takes like 20 minutes. And because I do enjoy MOBAs. Actually, when I was a kid, because I played like one of the more original MOBAs, or at least the MOBA that kind of popularized MOBAs, which was Dota 1 on Warcraft 3's game engine back in, 2003, 2004, that kind of time. But it was like the main thing that ended up like initially popularizing the MOBA genre. But anyways, one thing, there was always like Pokemon like spin-off games within that, within the game engine that people would end up making and hosting. And one thing that I always wanted was like, oh, a Pokemon MOBA. Of course, there was like fake ones that was made in the Warcraft 3 engine, and they were kind of fun. But it was like, oh, it'd be cool if they eventually made like an official one. And then like a decade and a half later, it's like, oh, they made an official one. Like 15 years later, they finally got around to it. A little late, but they did eventually make a Pokemon MOBA. Called Pokemon Unite, which came out, what, about almost 2 years ago at this point? Yeah, 15 years later. So they eventually got on that trend. Almost a decade after the fact. But they did indeed do so. Gosh, we just got triple bottom. Oh no. Oh, so we have almost like 1,000-something Dragonite right now. And we're about to get a lot more in theory this weekend. This will actually be the first weekend ever that we get to test how much Dragonite we can actually accumulate within a single weekend. We have never actually seen this before. Because no one has data on that. At least in theory. Just because it has never actually happened yet. We have never had a Volt event since the new orbs. Which is kind of insane to think about. Because we got that update like early December. It is now early February. Which is a very long distance of time. Especially for Gems of War. You sure after 30 hours you'll have 10 gauge Dragonite? I'm really curious to see what we'll come out to after the end of the grind. I'm not even sure what my guesstimate is. It really comes down to, do we think we can get one Dragonite Gnome near the end of every single Palooza? Because if that's the case, we are averaging like 50-ish Dragonite ore per hour. Roughly, give or take. With all factors considered, we would hit roughly 50 per hour. Giving like every possible factor that could like change it slightly. Which that is not bad at all. Actually, what's kind of funny, I'm going to keep track of my Dragonite number when it happens. We might double our Dragonite this weekend. Because realistically, we're going to be at like, what, 1,200-ish Dragonite by this weekend? A little bit over. And then we'll be able to kind of track like the exact number of Dragonite we end up ultimately getting by the end of it all. Be interesting to see how it pans out. We've cleared out everything. There's also the pet today. It's kind of irrelevant though. It's been out for a while though. If you need a Strix pet, definitely make sure to go grab it. But otherwise, it's pretty useless. But no, Strix are used occasionally in the team. Anyways, there's a redeem code from earlier. 2 Trinity Maps, 1 Gem Key, 200 Souls, 2,500 gold. As always. Oh no, we dipped under 40,000 gems again. You know what? Let's go open some Vault Keys. We got the number up. Might as well go open some. Where are we even at on Vault Keys? Got a Vault event coming up. Got to consume some of them before we get a billion more. Alright, let's go back to Phoenicia. We should say Magnesia. We'll go grind a couple of these then. It feels weird not having to do the crowns anymore. Because we had so many Kingdom Passes events in a row. That's like, oh yeah, we're going to have to do crowns today. Oh yeah, and crowns today. And today, and today, and today. And like every day forever. And it's like we don't have to anymore. It's like, we have so much time now. We just saved roughly 10 minutes. Between the transition and actually getting them. Yeah, Dragonite is kind of weird. In that you eventually reach a point where it becomes a useless currency. It reminds me a lot of War Coins. War Coins are super valuable before you have them all. Then becomes one of the most useless currencies in the entire game once you do. And Dragonite is somewhat like that. Because once you have 2 Diamantias, Dragonite has no purpose. There's nothing to sink it into. Unless you want like a 3rd Diamantia. You're never going to use it though. Unless you want to keep rolling for eggs. Just to feel like you were also in the bad RNG section like everyone else. Or the unluckier people. I think we're at like 23 eggs with no gnome. I mean, with no brown dragon, I mean. Yeah, unless they add more things for it later. That is potentially possible, though with how they kind of been doing things, not too likely. Though definitely very possible. I would still hoard it just in case. Like, if I had excess Dragonite after 2 Diamantias, I'd just be holding on to it forever until they do something. That or eventually one day craft a 3rd Diamantia for the memes, and then eventually a 4th one so we can set a defend team of 4 Diamantias. And then truly have nothing to do it on. A 4 Diamantia team would be so horrifically bad. Even 3 wouldn't be able to function. At least based on currently available mana accumulators. There's potentially going to be a day where 3 Diamantia could work. And it might even become like a new meta of sorts. But that day is not now because there's not really a proper way to do it. There eventually could be. If they combine some kind of wish gem mechanic with like mana accumulation or, you know, like board clear, it could work. The biggest issue with the better wish gem creators is that they don't have a way to destroy them on their own, so they need another troop to assist them. Did I get the campaign upgrades? Oh yeah, that reminds me. I still wasn't able to buy it yet. I need to go do that. I was mentioning it last night that it wasn't working, but I believe it wasn't working because when I was initially trying it, it was during that time when I had an upload speed of like -1 billion. So because our upload speed was so slow, and for whatever reason it was checking that for something that was checking with my PayPal. I'm not sure what, but whatever the check process was, the upload speed was making it so it wouldn't process. But yeah, it should work now. I just haven't bothered clicking the button yet. But I should. Just for flex, true. 4 Diamantias for no reason other than to have a 4 Diamantia team. Some people set the 4 Horde Mimic for that. 4 Horde Mimic is like an ultra flex. Because not only is it bad, but you have 4 of them. Which are insanely hard to get. There's still a lot of people that don't have one. Actually, we can see right now. If we check the achievements, I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd most unachieved achievement in the entire game. 4th most. 0.5%. Gain a Horde Mimic troop card from the boss chest. 0.5%. 4th most unachieved. Soon to be 3rd most unachieved. Because realistically, this should outtake Lord of Horde at some point. I'm actually surprised this one isn't higher. I never understood why this isn't higher. All you need for this is one level 225 faction. Which, yes, getting like all of your factions to that level, kind of hard. Getting one singular faction to that to that level, not particularly difficult. Like earlier on in the game, yes, but like way later in the game, it's not that hard to get a level 225 faction. Or is it 220 that you need for the power potion? I don't remember. Well, whatever it is, maybe it was... I can't remember. It's either 220 or 225. But that's not particularly high. It's like not an easy thing to do, but it's also not that percent hard to do. Like, it's mostly the percent that gets me off. Like, it seems kind of weird that's that percent. You have a 6 Horde Mimic team. They're multiplying. Oh, so I missed when we had the 8 magic the other week. That was nice. The weird thing is, we might never have that again. It was the first and only time we ever had so much magic for a given event. Actually, you know what? I never checked the bonus for what we have this time. It's probably a pretty average one. I guess see. Because I actually didn't bother looking at it. It's not something I normally bother checking. The last times was actually a pretty relevant one. Where do you even check it again? Artifacts. Yeah, it's only 4 magic this time. It's a pretty average one. 15 HP, 9 attack, 10 armor, 4 magic. Nothing special. Yeah, pretty average. We had an 8 magic one last time. Yeah, it's so unfortunate when I go to see, like, unknown troops and it's like, yep, the Gem Dragon's still there. Eventually. Yeah, I think that's the only thing there these days. Like, if I go to each of the unknowns, save filter. If I go to, like, troops unknowns, it's just the 2 Gem Dragons. If I go to weapons, it is just a Gem Dragon weapons. That's funny. Like, what am I missing for troops? The Gem Dragons. What am I missing for weapons? The Gem Dragons. What am I missing for banner? None. Class? None. Bonuses? Well, it doesn't matter. Pets? None. It should be none, right? Oh wait, actually that's not true. I technically don't have the crow because I didn't buy the thingy, though we will the second we do. Which will be soon, TM. And Infernus Imp, we just haven't gotten lucky on it. That was one of the paid money pets. And we just haven't been able to roll for it, unfortunately. But at some point we will. But almost all of them are just Gem Dragon related from that one patch. Yeah, anyways, let's keep going. I want to open at least another, what is it, 35 chests? We gotta open another 1,435 before the next Vault event. Go, go, go! No. Could you imagine? You know how long of a stream that would be? We already know, because wasn't the, how long was our 1 hour of opening Vault Key stream? Like 9 hours, right? 10? 11? I don't remember. I think it was around 9-ish. Hey, a Vault Key's in our Vault Key. So to do like 1,435 would take like 14 hours? 15 hours? Somewhere around there. Theoretically, there is that much time between now and then. Do I have a physical tomorrow? Actually, it's really early in the morning too. Gotta leave by like 7 a.m. I'm not used to waking up that early. I usually can. But, oh no, I'm just still not used to it. Like, I can easily get used to it. But normally the first, like, day or few days you try to, it's like, eh. And then after that, it's like, okay, I'm up fully awake at this time now. Yeah, I have some stuff to claim from the campaign because I didn't bother clicking the buy thingy yet. Because it wasn't processing earlier and I just haven't done it since. It's one of those things like donating gold to the guild. If it's not done on Monday, it doesn't get done until like later. Let's see. That brings us to 94 ingots. Hey, we're almost at 100 ingots. Just gonna move the whole number over some. Bunch of gem keys. Keys have been like increasingly becoming almost useless. As weird as that may seem. They have the same issue that diamonds have, oddly enough. Eventually. In the sense that you have so many of them that you can't possibly use them for anything of value anymore. That wasn't the case for the longest time. At this point, I feel like we have kind of reached that. Also, can you please stop giving the most useless one? That's another one for the pile. A bigger one. Also, I'm curious if we'll have something else to track for next patch. Because we probably will. Next patch should be in about 2 or 3 weeks, by the way, too. We know where they're aiming to get it out before the end of the month, so pretty safe to say that. I wake up for what? Oh, I have a physical tomorrow. Actually, you know what I haven't been to since the pandemic? A dentist. I used to go like every single year. And partially and due to the pandemic, I have not been to a dentist for like 3.5 years now. And the worst part is, with or without health insurance, my health insurance still doesn't cover it. So it's like I'm pretty much uninsured. There's always something that's kind of weird. Because of how America's health system works. Because I literally have insurance, but I don't have insurance when it comes to dental. So it's like I basically have no insurance to begin with, like I haven't had for several years already for it. Can we stop getting major ingots? 96. Are you saying 50k glory and 50k gems is too much? I wonder if anyone has ever hit 1,000,000 gems in this game. It's definitely possible based on the rates that have and still exist. Yeah, the American healthcare system, or lack thereof, is very strange. Because we don't really have a healthcare system. It's just like an anything goes system. It's a very weird system. Luckily, a lot of the most important dental work I needed I got done while I still had insurance way back when. Because I was able to get my molars removed, a couple cavities fixed, a couple things like that. Though one thing that really annoys me so much is the fact that you can't, like, sue them or anything. Because I actually got, I know for sure that one of my teeth up front, when I was around 16 or 17, at one of the times when I got a checkup, they ended up denting one of my teeth. And there was, like, nothing we could do about it. And now I have a cavity there. In the exact location where I got dented one of the times when I got dental work. It was literally just a cleaning, and they ended up, like, permanently denting the tooth. And now it has a cavity there because there's a dent in there, so it was only a matter of time before it happened. Since it is quite literally a cavity in the literal sense, and that it's a hole in my tooth. Not like a hole all the way through, but, you know, like a dent in the tooth. That's hole-shaped. Or like an indent, or whatever you'd call it. Hey, pet orb. Let's see. Pet orb minions. I keep calling it pet orb. It's actually called orb of minions. If I ever say pet orb, I mean orbs of minions, because I will always call them pet orbs. There we go. Similar to how I call the other 3 orbs, the bronze, silver, and gold metalling orbs. Hey, we gained a level. And a blue orb. Oh, I'll take Explosion. Are we grinding 11 levels this weekend? Unfortunately, no. I'm not sure how many levels we're grinding. Though it's probably not 11. Which I know why you say 11. It's because that's how many we need to reach level 1,800. We're definitely getting a lot of levels this weekend. Though I want to say 5 or 6. It's definitely not going to be 11. It's not going to be March. We're definitely going to have it by the end of this month. For that one poll. Because we did a poll a little while back. Would we hit level 1,800 in January, February, or March? January had the least amount of votes, and yeah. It didn't happen January. February, I can't remember which one won between February or March. I'm pretty sure March won. Or, you know, March plus. But February was always the most likely month for it to occur. You picked March. It's not going to take us till March. We're almost going to have it this weekend, especially if we have another Vault event between, or, you know, 2 Vault events between now and the end of the month. Like, there's no way we wouldn't be 1,800 by then. Though even with 1, we're still going to be at that point. Oh, we already know we're getting a Vault event this weekend. And supposedly we're getting another Vault event in like 2 or 3 weeks. Exact date I don't think has been confirmed. Will we have 1,800 first or the Mythic tier list? Mythic tier list soon, TM. It's still a coming. It's not enough damage. That is, though. Do we know what the highest level is of anyone in Gems of War? I'm not sure if we currently know. I think it's almost level 3,000. I don't think anyone has passed 3,000 yet. Although I know there are some people who are very absurdly close to it. Oh, is this slightly over 3,000? Okay, never mind. There is someone slightly over 3,000. For all intents and purposes, 2,000 is basically max level. Though it theoretically goes to 10,000. However, 10,000 is quite literally impossible. Like, the highest level by the end of the game's lifespan will probably be like 7,000, if even that. Because it's going to take probably like 3 to 5 more years before we see the first 5,000. Maybe even before we see the first 4,000. It'll take a couple years before we even see that. So no comment on which one is first. I would assume Mythic tier list would be first. They do hope to get that out within the next week. Whereas level 1,800 will be realistically 2 Vault events from now. If not 2 Vault events from now, but definitely by the end of the month we'd have level 1,800. Because 2 Vault events, by the second Vault event, 100%. It's there. With 1 Vault event, it's going to get there by the end of the month, but it'll be of a slower pace, of course. Compared to double Vault event. Yeah, generally most people who are absurdly high level, they generally have like a multiplay session. Like no one solos it that high, generally speaking. It's almost always like multiple people playing one account. Which to some degree is not allowed, though they don't really enforce it, so it kind of is allowed. Not every ultra high level is like that. But there's definitely a good handful of them that are. There's like 2, 3, maybe even 4 people playing the same account. Oh, come on. He lived by 3 HP. Literally would have died to burn. A little late there, burn. We'll do 10 more keys after this one. And we'll call it there. So if anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Otherwise, tomorrow is Stormcaller class event. Pretty good hero class, Perpetual Yellowstorm. I feel like it has fallen off in recent times, though, mostly because Elementalists and a few others are just so strong that usage of Stormcaller has definitely just gone down in generally. But it still has Perpetual Yellowstorm, so it has that. It's good with Strix combos. Still a great troop. I feel like of all the hero classes that have Perpetual Redstorm, Sun Spear is probably used the most. That's still an unusable hero class. I just feel like there's not too many meta teams that really want a lot of yellow. Not that there aren't good, like, yellow spam teams. It just there's a lot of other colors that have better coverage. Or ones that can function without even needing the Perpetual Storm as well. There's a lot of instances where you don't necessarily need to commit to a storm every single turn. While it is nice, there's a lot of teams, like the average team doesn't need that much of the same storm. Guaranteed. A good number of them don't even need any storm at all. Even though some of them would benefit from it if there was a way to squeeze it in. It's just the biggest issue generally when it comes to adding a storm to the team is you have to give up a spot to do so in most situations. Not always. But a lot of times you have to give up a spot or like half of a spot in order to have the storm you want. Like this team does. But also somewhat doesn't. Like the Magma Dragon spot. Like that's something else that could be, you know, a quicker mana accumulation option or a quicker utility damage. But instead we opt for the good old storm. There's one thing we could actually do with this team to try to make it work. Oh, an Epic Volkey. Is actually put Ironhawk there in hopes that doing Leprechaun Phoenicia would be enough damage to kill. Which oddly enough, now that I think about that, is that actually more damage if we get lucky? I just mentioned that off the top of my head, and now that I say it out loud, is that actually more damage? I think it's not because of how the storm works. It's one of the situations where we actually get a lot of value from the storm. But, let me just see something real quick. Is that enough? Like, there's a non-zero chance that's enough. Is it? Probably not because there's not enough red. Oh, never mind. We don't have any storm at all. Wait. Wait. Wait, that was my boost ratio for it. Yeah, never mind. It's not enough. I was like, wait, where's all of our damage? I forgot. Her other mechanic. Now, that would work if it wasn't Phoenicia. I forgot. Her mechanic is kind of do double damage based on Storm. Hello, lack of Storm. Yeah, it actually is required for her. Whoops. Anyways. That's funny. Let's see. I kind of forgot her boost ratio was from the thing. It's like, oh, she just naturally hits that hard. But no, you do actually need the storm. That's funny. That would work kind of with other AoEs. Like, for example, Diamantia. That logic would work. Because it has its own storm plus, you know, you don't really need anything else for it. So if you're ever slightly short with Diamantia, you could do that Ironhawk method, assuming you have one spot that's kind of flexible on the team. Though generally it's just double Diamantia, which is kind of funny. That Diamantia is so strong. Yeah, you know a troop is a little strong when the average team that gets used with it uses two of the same troop. Hey, another pet orb. Let's see. That brings us to 27. Maybe if you replace Mirage Queen instead, true. But then we have to get a lot more mana. Which with a lucky Leprechaun won't matter. But in many other situations it would. Come on, one more big drop. Come on, give us something. I'll even take a decent major orb. We haven't gotten a good major orb in a very long time. We haven't seen major gold, major silver, or major pet for a decent amount of time. Okay, here it is. Moment of truth. Here's our loot for the stream. Boom. Oh, major orange. I hate major orange so much because there's always like a slight half a second where it's like, oh, I see like a goldish color. It must be gold metal. And it's like, nope, just major orange. And the disappointment hits. Remember when Dragon Soul was before the huge nerf? Wait, Dragon Soul got nerfed? Wait, I don't even remember that. When did Dragon Soul get nerfed? I don't think Dragon Soul has ever directly been nerfed. It has indirectly been nerfed. But unless I'm forgetting something, Dragon Soul has never had anything about it ever change directly. It has only been nerfed by the meta shifting, not from the troop actually ever changing. Well, yes, technically the 50% mana accumulation on Explodes nerfed it. But that's also an indirect nerf. That affected every Exploder. Can we stop getting major oranges? I just want to know a different orb exists. So instead it's going to give us major green. So I said 10 marquees ago. Or like 20 marquees, I mean by that. Like I said 10 marquees, and then we did another 10 keys after that 10 keys. And then we'll probably do another 10 keys after those 10 keys. It's very addictive, like the Vault event. Like you kind of just would keep wanting to do like one more. Though not want to giving this kind of bad loot. Come on, at least tease us with like a half decent loot. It's in there. Like it's gonna show a major orb and then it's gonna be a major Garun. Like at least do that. Oh, it's just give us a Cedric. I think this is officially gonna be the last Volkey we run. Otherwise, we're gonna be here like all night running Volkeys. And I do need to wake up kind of early tomorrow. Hey, we ended on 60 diamonds and 12 gems. A little bit of loot in there. And another extra 22 gems there. Oh, we still have the Valentine's Day thing going. I haven't even been paying attention to this. The only relevant one's the free one on the final day, which is actually on Valentine's Day, oddly enough. Which makes sense. They generally run that way. Oh, also thank you, Isabel, for doing legendary tasks. Greatly appreciated. Also, did I donate gold to the guild this week? I have, I think. We have. Okay, just making sure. Anyways, guys, we'll be calling it for now. We will be back tomorrow, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow. And we'll mostly be messing with the faction event and probably opening some more Vault keys before the Vault event this weekend. And then, yeah, we're just going to power grind. I'm not sure the exact time we're going to be starting on Friday. I want to say around 2-ish p.m. And then we're pretty much just going to go till like 9 or 10 or something. Somewhere's around that. Somewhere's like that. Not sure exactly, but tomorrow night stream will be normal. Whereas the following other 2 days will be basically very long day stream that will go through the normal standard 8 p.m. Standard Time stream. We'll still be hunting for Vault keys the entire time. And hopefully it'll go over well. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Best of luck with the upcoming Vault event. Also, if you're still looking for the Mythic, tomorrow's the last day to get it. If you're looking for the one that we covered last weekend, the Wrath Amon, pretty decent one. Though it was the only team we lost with on Guild War. Though it wasn't necessarily his fault, it was just the meta's fault. Because Book just infinited, as Book generally does. But, oh yeah, I would still advise getting him. He's a pretty good upper tier utility skull spammer, so. I wouldn't say it's the best skull spammer of its type. I still feel like Wild King is superior to it. But it's still nice to have in your arsenal. Especially if it ever becomes like super meta at some point. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Have a wonderful week. And thanks for stopping by.